Hey guys, welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs. Right now we're going to talk about Mizzou's loss at home to Alabama 27-24. Talk about what happened, what went wrong. Before we start, as always, first, like the video. Leave us a comment. What did you think about this game? What could Missouri have done better? I think I know where comments are going to go on this, but I want to see it. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel and find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and on Spotify. All right. My first point on this is honestly more attitude related. Missouri came out, and my gosh, typically the first drive of the game or a little bit more is scripted, and it was perfect. I think Missouri's worst play was for 4 yards or something. That first drive was incredible. And I think everybody in America watched that and thought, oh boy, we might have something here. And then the first two plays, Alabama did next to nothing. But then Zion Young with an absolutely brain dead penalty. I don't know if anybody was contesting that shouldn't have been a call, but that was an easy call. He wasn't even involved in the play and then ran over from 20 yards away just to get this close to a Bama dude's face. And you can't do that. You have to know that. Uh, Extremely frustrating, extremely unnecessary. And it took away what would have been the 3rd and 16 or something like that, and perhaps a three and out. And the rest of the first half, Missouri's attitude was different. It was not assertive. The rest of that first half, Missouri played like a team, honestly, from the first 3 years of the Drinkwitz era, where, I hope we can hang in there with these guys instead of what I think we expected, which was, guess what? This is our moment. We are here. We're as good as you. We can line up and we can smack you in the mouth and you can't do anything about it. We saw that in the second half. Shoot, first play, the second half, strip sack, 3 plays later, whatever it was, touchdown tie ball game. They played much more assertive in the second half, and they played like a team that thought we are every bit as good as you. Maybe we might be better than you. And I think that was a big difference in, gosh, call it the last 10 minutes of the first quarter and all the second quarter. It was a problem. And it got Missouri on their heels and it got them down 17-7. So I don't know. But maybe just the discipline penalty on Young took the wind out of the sails, to be clear. They got to bounce back from that quicker. They just have to. With the offense, yeah, some of this, the last possession or two, of course, is game management and circumstances. But Ahmad Hardy has to have more than 12 carries. I just I don't understand it. They have to have more carries out of Hardy. And there was one possession in the fourth quarter, about 8 minutes to go. They got the ball, and it was a chance to take the lead, and they went pass, 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 three and out. Hardy did not touch the ball once. I don't know why Missouri would ever throw on first down, short of, a 2 minute drill type stuff. Because Ahmad Hardy's going to get you a couple yards or more. So, that's something that I think Kirby Moore has to adjust. And he's done well, but it was not his best day on Saturday. And part of that is recognizing you have you're a guy, you're good for 2 yards at least anytime you give the guy the ball. You're talking 2nd and 8 at worst. And let's be honest, it's going to be better than that a whole heck of a lot. So that I thought was, I don't know if game situation just misjudged how much time they had and they got themselves in a hurry or what? Another point, and some of this is to do with Prbula, some of this it may be to do with Alabama secondary. How many shots down the field did Missouri take? Until the very last drive or two, the last second, the only thing more than about 15 yards downfield was the touchdown pass to Norfleet at the beginning of the game. Otherwise, there's nothing. There were no home run balls over the top where it's three-step drop, set, home run ball attempt to Speedy Johnson. There was nothing of the sort. And I think that was a missed opportunity. If you hit on even one thing down the field later in the game, and I'm talking 30, 40 yards, that loosens things up so much with the Alabama front seven and makes it easier for Hardy. So you're talking about something that may have indirectly led to Hardy's 12 carries, which was a problem. So not even trying downfield with any consistency, I think, was a problem that created other problems. Now, how much is that going to matter when Bo Perbula had what I think is his worst day as a Missouri Tiger? Um, he looked like a guy in his sixth start who had a bump in the road. That is magnified by the fact that Ty Simpson was also in his sixth start. And while the numbers were not glaring, he made a couple of throws that had NFL scouts drooling. On the one side, Ty Simpson is throwing that 4th and 8 ball where Toriano Pride is draped all over the receiver and he places it perfectly. And on the other side, you know, you, the obvious example is the interception that ended the game where Speedy Johnson might still be running if the ball gets thrown to him and he's jumping up and down wondering why he doesn't have the ball thrown at him. He I don't know if this is a case of just not going through progressions or Prbula feeling pressure in that drop in his eyes from downfield, or if he is it's like the pressure distracts him from going through his reads. Whether he drops his eyes or he just can't see, I don't know. But vision was a problem. Um, I think that's the biggest takeaway with Prbula on Saturday was he just didn't see wide open guys. And honestly, if I had, the all 22 film and we are able to go through and look, maybe that is why Missouri did not take shots down the field, is Prbula did not see guys he could throw to that were there. I don't know. You notice I haven't really talked about Missouri's defense very much. They uh they were not elite, but come on. You're talking about an Alabama offense that had absolutely lit people up. And they had less than 350 yards of offense. Ty Simpson, Heisman, maybe a front runner in the top 3 or 4 guys, and even 200 yards passing. 23 out of 31. That's less than 10 yards of completion. There were a couple holes in the zone, especially in the first half. Second half, I don't know what more you want. You're taking a very prolific offense and you're allowing them to score 10 points in the second half. Give me almost any of the numbers that Alabama put up on offense, and I would have told you Missouri won. Now, the exceptions are third and especially fourth down conversions and time of possession. And those two, they go hand in hand. I think it's the third and the fourth down conversions. The one that just killed me was the third, and I believe it was 23, and that led to the touchdown in the second half. They gave up 16 yards, 17 yards, whatever it was, and kind of, all right, whatever. They still got 8 more. Well, I think you have to coach the defense to understand if they get enough, they're going to go for it. If you give them five, they will punt. So I would have liked to have seen more pressure because Ty Simpson was clearly affected by pressure. He was sacked four times, and when he was on the run or hurried, it impacted his throws. I think that's something Missouri should have done on that. Should have done a little bit more, especially in the first half. Now, credit the defense and Corey Batoon, they adjusted. Damon Wilson, Zion Young, they were all over the place in the second half. Like I said, four sacks. Can't argue with that. All in all, though, 27 points, less than 350 yards of offense. I would have taken that all day if you would have offered it to me before the game started, and I'd have taken my chances. I think the reason that this is so painful for Mizzou fans and for the team and everybody with Mizzou is we saw what we thought, which was a Missouri team that, for the most part, can just line up and play with Alabama. And it was the first time that Missouri's been able to do that in the six times they've played now since joining the SEC. The other five, they were mismatches. They just were. This was not. And I guess some people saw Alabama fans complaining about Missouri playing dirty or this, that, and the other. And my thought was, I don't think in the last 16, 17 years, going back to, gosh, 2008, really, how often has Alabama played somebody that was just as physical as them? Not often. They did Saturday. That's what makes it painful, is that Missouri could match up with them. And, you know, I think everybody knew if Alabama played their A game, Missouri could not win. I think there was an acceptance that, yes, Missouri's a lot closer talent wise, but Alabama, their best is just a little bit better than Missouri's best. But Alabama did not play their best. Missouri was a factor in that, but they could have played better. It was there for the taking, but Missouri didn't play anywhere near their best. And a lot of that had to do with the most important position on the field. And that's especially hard to swallow, is that if we're being honest with ourselves, if Bo Pribula plays solid, I think Missouri probably wins that game. They're undefeated, top 10, everything. But one guy just came up short, and it just so happened to be the guy playing the most important position in sports. So take from that what you will. Going forward, everything Missouri wants, aside from an undefeated season, of course, is still there. Missouri can run the table and be 11 and 1. They would almost certainly be in the SEC championship game, and I think they'd be a lock for the playoff. Looking at the schedule, Auburn's 3-3. Vandy has been beaten. They may lose to LSU next week. A&M is very tough, but it's at home. Mississippi State is better, but still not that great. Oklahoma just put up 6 points against Texas. And then Arkansas is entering their Petrino era, the sequel, whatever that means. There's no game on this schedule Missouri cannot win. So that's encouraging, but the margin for error, while still there, is basically cut in half. I think 10-2 is what you have to have. So if you're looking at A&M and maybe at Oklahoma as your toughest games, I think this next stretch of at Auburn, at Vandy, I think you almost have to look at them at must wins. Hey, we're going to preview that Auburn game. We'll have that out to you. What do we? I guess Tuesday night is what we try to do normally. So keep an eye out for that. And until next time, thank you for watching Under the Arch Sports.